Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this new Kelly Lee Owens album, Inner Song. Kelly Lee Owens is a Welsh electronic producer. She's been at it for a few years now. I heard about her first around the time of her Oleic EP. And while very short, I thought this was a pretty charming little EP. I liked what she was doing in the world of electronic and techno. But it was the dreamy rhythms and her meditative vocals that really made her stand out to me. As a matter of fact, by the time that her self-titled album came out, I really kind of considered myself a fan of hers. She blended even more genres on here, bringing an element of dream pop as well as down-tempo. And you know what? While it got a ton of praise, I think it deserved even more. I thought it was a really great electronic album. Now, for the most part, these singles have been pretty awesome. Let's chat about this new one. A lot of the singles that Kelly released in anticipation of this album start off the album and honestly do a really good job of picking things up. I love the track On a whole lot. I think the very dreamy vocals sound right out of David Lynch's Twin Peaks, and the very subtle beat that grows in the background is fantastic as well. All of these genres that Kelly blends seem to go together very nicely. The dreamy vocals almost never really detract from these beats. As a matter of fact, they make them more memorable most of the time. Tracks like these have so many layers. Kelly has really made herself a very dreamy, dreary little world, and I am all for it. And I love how bouncy and animated this track gets towards the end when Kelly's vocals seem to drift away. By the end, this track comes off as a damn anthem. It is great. Melt, on the other hand, is so much more immediate and very in your face right from the get-go. It's actually pretty intense for a Kelly Lee Owens track. I love the meditative beat here and her very mysterious vocals, which constantly seem just out of reach. But it's got a powerful message, and as a standalone track, I think this is one of Kelly's best. And as it continues, it just gets more intense, more in your face. Nothing bad to say here at all. And Rewild as a deep cut is so cool. It continues to have a ton of Kelly's signature tricks. But this one has such a sense of mystery to it. It's just so otherworldly. Mostly because Kelly takes center stage here, mostly her vocals. And you know what? I'm just going to say it right now. I don't think this sound would interest me as a full album if she ever tried something like that. But as a standalone track, I think this breaks the album up really nicely. Something new that stands out for her. It's just so alien sounding. But I will say this is a new sound for Kelly. If you are into her stuff, into her meditative rhythms and hypnotic vocals, this may not be a track for you. And Jeanette is a whole lot more playful and light on the ears, but honestly really great as well. Progresses nicely, and I love the airy synths. They're actually some of the catchiest on this entire album. I don't even mind that this track is over 6 minutes long. It's an absolute joy. It's also one of the more progressive and technical tracks here. Like, if you really want to hear Kelly Lee Owens branch out and try something new, something that really pushes herself, this is a fantastic example of that. However, these genres that Kelly works with are tough ones, and it shows at times. For one, arpeggi as a intro here. This was not the intro that I wanted to hear. I'm all for being patient with electronic music, and with Kelly's genres, you kind of have to be patient. But it just doesn't pay off to me at all. And if you've heard Kelly's work in the past, you know that she's just so much better than this. And Corner of My Sky, featuring the legendary John Cale, I'm not into this at all. As a matter of fact, it's my least favorite track here. Look, I get why a lot of people are into this, but between Kelly's very unimaginative beat here and John Cale's very unimaginative performance, this is just not for me. Not to mention, it stumbles its way over 7 minutes too. And the rest of this album kind of has its ups and downs. There's plenty to really enjoy, but Kelly still has room to grow, I think, as well. Line, for example, is the dreamiest track here. You may even say the dreamiest track that Kelly Lee Owens has ever recorded. But I'm sort of up in the air on this. As far as her vocals go, I'm actually stunned. I think they're her best ever. But sadly, this instrumental is one of the least enjoyable here. It's okay, but I'm very, very middle of the road on this track. Night, though, is a real late album treat. Between the laid-back backdrop and the sort of busy beat and the return of Kelly's vocals, which I feel like have been absent for longer than they have, honestly, this is a treat. It's constantly shifting, once again very animated, and Kelly here sounds like she's on another planet. It makes for a seriously meditative experience that gets pretty wild by the end. Flow sort of has me shrugging once again. I mean, for a laid-back tune, this isn't bad, but it's not as like animated or as progressive as other tracks here. That's a little disheartening, but it is kind of interesting to see Kelly work with a much more low-key beat and build it. By the end of the track, there is more to like here, but I just wish wish this one was a little bit more upfront. However, I wouldn't say I'm worried about the future of Kelly Lee Owens' music because we get late album tracks like Wake Up, which absolutely knock my socks off. I actually think this is probably the best track here. I honestly think this is like the perfect medium for Kelly. It has some of her most expressive and emotional singing by far, and I love the airy beat that almost drifts into like shoegaze and dream pop once again. It comes together so wonderfully, and these synths here sound so great. I'm not really worried about her future. So yeah, if you're a Kelly Lee Owens fan, you're gonna want to hear this. I think she continues to really accentuate her sound, get her own unique niche in these genres, and I think it's pretty fantastic. I also think her vocals are better than ever. However, there are some less expressive tracks on here that do worry me, but that's just me. Overall, very enjoyable. I'm feeling a decent to strong 7 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.